Imagine being the most famous man on earth. Loved by millions, envied by stars, yet hunted by scandals and trapped by fame. His music changed the world, his dance moves redefined performance, and his influence stretched far beyond pop culture. But behind the glittering glove and the moonwalk, there was a man whose life spiraled into pain, loneliness, and eventually, an untimely death that shocked the entire world.
Legendary king of pop, Michael Jackson, passed away.
This is the story of Michael Jackson, because the truth about his final days is something you won't want to miss. The beginning of a legend. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on August 29, 1958, in the industrial city of Gary, Indiana. He was the 8th of 10 children in the Jackson family. His father, Joseph Jackson, was strict, even harsh, and his mother, Catherine, was deeply religious and nurturing. Life in the Jackson household wasn't easy. Joseph worked at a steel mill, but his true dream was music. He pushed his children to form a group, which eventually became the Jackson 5. From an early age, Michael's talent stood out. He wasn't just good, he was extraordinary. By the age of 5, he could sing with a voice that carried emotion far beyond his years, and his natural ability to dance left audiences stunned. By 1968, the Jackson 5 signed with Motown Records. Hits like I Want You Back, ABC, and I'll Be There launched them to stardom. Michael, barely a teenager, was already a superstar. But behind the smiles, life wasn't as glamorous. His father's discipline was severe. Michael later revealed stories of harsh beatings and emotional struggles. Fame came fast, but childhood slipped away. Breaking free and going solo. By the late 1970s, Michael wanted more than to be part of a group. He wanted to create his own sound, his own identity. In 1979, he released Off the Wall, produced by Quincy Jones. Songs like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You showcased a new Michael, confident, stylish, and ready to conquer the world. But that was just the beginning. In 1982, Michael released the album that would change music forever, Thriller. With hits like Billie Jean, Beat It, and of course, Thriller, it became the best-selling album of all time, selling over 66 million copies worldwide. The music videos weren't just videos, they were cultural events. The moonwalk, introduced during his Billie Jean performance in 1983, became an iconic dance move that defined a generation. Michael wasn't just a singer, he was now the king of pop, the height of fame, and the price of success. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Michael's fame skyrocketed. Albums like Bad, 1987, Dangerous, 1991, and History, 1995, cemented his status as the biggest entertainer in the world. He broke records, sold out stadiums, and became a global icon. But success came with a heavy price. Michael lived in the spotlight, constantly followed by paparazzi. His appearance began to change drastically. He suffered from vitiligo, a skin condition that caused patches of his skin to lose pigmentation. To even out his complexion, he underwent treatments, but tabloids fueled rumors that he was bleaching his skin. His changing face, narrower nose, sharper features, only added fuel to public speculation about endless plastic surgeries. The pressure of fame also pushed Michael to create his own sanctuary. He built Neverland Ranch, a sprawling fantasy estate with amusement rides, a zoo, and lush gardens. For Michael, it was an escape, a place where he could relive the childhood he never had. But this paradise would later become a focal point of controversy, scandals and trials. In 1993, Michael's world came crashing down. He was accused of child sexual abuse by a 13-year-old boy. The case never went to trial as it was settled out of court for a reported $23 million, but the damage to his reputation was devastating. The man who was once adored by millions now faced global scrutiny. Despite denying all allegations, Michael's public image took a massive hit. He became more reclusive, and his health and mental state began to deteriorate. In 2005, another case went to trial. This time, Michael was accused of molesting a young boy at Neverland. The trial was grueling, and the media circus was relentless. But in the end, after months in court, Michael was acquitted of all charges. Though he was legally cleared, the trial left him financially drained, emotionally scarred, and physically frail. Neverland Ranch, once his dream home, was abandoned. Health struggles and addiction. As the years went on, Michael's health became a major concern. He battled chronic pain, insomnia, and stress. Reports suggested that he became dependent on prescription medications to cope, particularly painkillers and sedatives. He was often seen wearing surgical masks and gloves, fueling speculation about his frail health. Friends and family worried about his well-being, but Michael always seemed to be chasing perfection, preparing for his big comeback. The comeback that never happened. By 2009, Michael was facing financial troubles. Years of lawsuits, extravagant spending, and declining income left him in debt. To regain control of his career, he announced a massive comeback tour, This Is It. The concerts were scheduled to take place in London, with 50 sold-out shows planned. Fans around the world were ecstatic. Michael was rehearsing intensely, determined to prove that he was still the king of pop. Behind the scenes, however, his health was fragile. He relied heavily on doctors and medications to keep him going through rehearsals. The final day. On June 25, 2009, the world stopped. That morning, at his rented mansion in Holmby Hills, Los Angeles, Michael Jackson was found unresponsive in his bedroom. His personal physician, Dr. Conrad Murray, had been giving him powerful sedatives, including propofol, to help him sleep. But that day, the dosage was fatal. Despite attempts at resuscitation, Michael Jackson was pronounced dead at the age of 50. The news spread like wildfire. Fans gathered outside hospitals, radios played his music non-stop, and the internet nearly crashed under the weight of global mourning. For millions, it felt unreal. The king of pop, gone forever. The aftermath. The official cause of death was acute propofol and benzodiazepine intoxication. Dr. Conrad Murray was later convicted of involuntary manslaughter in 2011, accused of negligence in administering the drugs. Michael's funeral was watched by over 2.5 billion people worldwide, making it one of the most watched events in history. Celebrities, world leaders, and fans mourned his passing. He was laid to rest in the Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. His death reignited interest in his music, with album sales skyrocketing. Documentaries, tributes, and fan memorials spread across the globe. For many, his legacy was untouchable, his music, his artistry, and his impact would live on forever. The legacy of the king of pop. Michael Jackson's story is one of brilliance and tragedy. He was a man who gave the world unforgettable music, performances that seemed almost superhuman, and a cultural influence that remains unmatched. Yet he was also a man haunted by loneliness, controversies, and an addiction that ultimately claimed his life. Today, more than a decade after his death, Michael's influence is still everywhere, from dance routines and fashion to music videos and pop culture itself. He changed what it meant to be an entertainer. He wasn't just a singer or a dancer, he was an icon, even though he is gone. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life and death of Michael Jackson, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with other fans, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more stories about the icons who shaped our world. Michael Jackson may be gone, but his music and his legacy will live forever.